Hi, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. Before I get started on today's project, I wanted to remind you of a couple of things. Celebration is more than halfway through, which is always shocking to me when it starts because Christmas has been over and it's been a mad rush. And then the next thing you know, we're halfway through celebration, which means spring's on its way, which is a good thing if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. So there are a couple of things that are starting to sell out in the current celebration catalog, but a new one does start on March 3rd. If you don't have this, I will be happy to send you one if you have placed an online order with me anytime since the beginning of the year, because then you've already gotten something out of this one. So then I figured that you need this one. So everybody who's placed an order so far this year with me has already had one sent. If you want one, then just place an online order with me now through the end of February, and I'll automatically send you one as soon as you place that order, along with your thank you gift and your thank you card. And if you don't know what my thank you gifts are, then you'll want to check my website. And over the weekends, I usually have weekend specials, so you'll want to check that. And then also in February, everybody who spends $100 in product is going into a drawing to get this little ladybug stamp set. So if you're spending $100, then either you get 2 free celebration things, or you get one of the larger celebration choices, and then you'll be in the drawing for this. So just be aware of that. The card I'm going to show you today, if you saw the tutorial yesterday, I did, hopefully I posted them 2 days in a row. It's my goal because I was sick for a while, but I'm working with the Tropical Oasis suite. We did a 24-hour online event before I got sick. Actually, it was when I got sick, and that was the bundle that was my focus. So I'm trying to show you some of the projects that I did during that, because I frankly wasn't at my best. Well, I was. It was a weird sickness. I was fine, and then I wasn't, like in a matter of moments. So when it hit fast and furious. This was what I did my make and takes for the ladies who participated in our make and take part of the thing. So the kits that we sent them, these were the projects that I sent them. So for this card here, when I ordered the suite, this stays on brown. For whatever reason, I didn't get it. So I don't know, maybe I didn't get the folder either. It was weird. Sometimes, you know, when you order and there's so much when the catalog is new, you're like, I can live for this forever. Well, this went on back order right away, so I never got it. It will be available soon. But when you look at these samples, and I was designing this card, if I really wanted to use the hibiscus, but if you stamp it in black, it's just too much for the paper because the paper doesn't have any black in it, and it overwhelms the paper. So I tried some different techniques. I tried stamping it and embossing it in gold, and then it made the center be too bleh. I didn't like it. It really needs this lovely color of brown because it's the color of the paper. So I ended up using a technique with the Stamparatus. So let me show you what I did. So here's the stamp set. I did use the dies, but when I'm showing you the packet that I sent the girls, so we had already run the stuff through the dies for them. So let me show you how to do this. So if you have the dies, well, you would need the dies for you to do this. So first, this is the terracotta tile, and it's already folded in half to standard card size. Then this is the designer series paper. It's so pretty and it's so summery, and it just makes you want to be outside in the pool, which I might go out in the pool actually when I'm done with this video before I hop in the shower. But it's because we have a really heated pool, not because it's nice enough to go outside here. So I've just cut these in little squares, so they will match up to my scrap piece here. And this literally could be a scrap piece. Mine's just a piece of very vanilla. And then you just want to kind of put these wherever. It doesn't matter where. There's one piece that's less colorful than the others, and they don't quite overlap, but that's okay. This is when it's all said and done. So this piece here doesn't have quite as much color. So I'm going to put it over here where I'm going to end up putting my main design. Put that there. And then we'll Stick this one over here. I wanted this one to be here. This is the flower when I end up coloring. This is the flower that I'm gonna kind of mimic. And let's stick this one so it goes kind of crisscross. So you could leave it like this, but why? If you have a folder, why leave it like that? So this is the folder, it's the basket weave, and it's part of the suite. So I'm gonna stick this in here, and it kind of mushes the paper all down, and it makes it all look like it's one piece, and it's a beautiful folder. So it does take either the blue plate, but you can do it with any of them. If the girls didn't have this folder, the settle works great. The old basket weave that we had from a couple of years ago, it works fine. This one's actually called Coastal Weave 3D. I think the old one was called Basket Weave. But you can see now, it just, see how pretty that is? Kind of smashes it all together. So the pieces, if they don't overlap like that's fine, because we're gonna stick our flower on there when we're done stamping it. So now that I sent them this piece here, so it's a piece of shimmery white cardstock, and I've already run the hibiscus and the leaf through it. So they needed the Stamparatus and then their stamp set. So first you're gonna need to put this in here. And this works great for all kinds of stamping. And you've probably seen this before if you watch my videos. This is right side up. So just put a little bit of adhesive. Line this up in here. And this is great when you wanna get multiple colors. So I'm gonna take these two stamps. You kind of puzzle piece them in. There we got that one. And that one. You can kind of feel them when they drop in. But before I actually put my paper in, I'm gonna ink the lightest colors up to make sure they hit. So you have them there. I haven't put my stickers on because, you know, the cling are super clingy. And this way, if they're not in the right place for my video, it'd be easier to take them off. So I have them here. Then I have 3 colors of ink that I'm gonna use on my hibiscus and 2 that I'm gonna use on my leaf. So the lightest color on my leaf is Balmy Blue. I'm gonna kind of go everywhere with that. And then the lightest color on my hibiscus is Petal Pink. You could do this with ink spots if you have the ink spots in the colors. You can also do it with markers, Stampin' Right markers. But now when I stamp this onto the scrap paper, I'll be able to make sure that it's lined up properly. Because if it hits the edges of your outline, you know it's not. And mine looks good. So I'm just going to take a tiny bit of this, and then you could like if you were doing this at camp, or if you're going to make several of the cards, now all of your lining up is done. Now every single piece you can just stick back in here. There we go. So now we're going to ink them with the same color again. I'm not going to close them until I make sure that I have enough of the colors that I want on them. But because we're building the colors up, and again, I'm kind of going for this look here. So you can see the outside of it has the pink. So I wanted to make sure that the outside is got pink. I need a little bit more on this piece. My leaf looks good. There we go. And then we're gonna go to Grapefruit Grove and Old Olive. And this one, I don't care if I get all the way to the edges because my one down here doesn't go, Some of it can go all the way out and some of it doesn't have to. And with the leaf, I'm just trying to get some, if you look really closely on these, they have blue in them, which you can go to my website and see the up close pictures. There we go. So you can see that darkened that up a little bit. That grapefruit, again, is not a dark color. So now I'm going to put some red, and the red, I'm just going to kind of tap on there because I want red, but I don't want it to be super dark. Here we go. So now it's gotten even darker. Now I'm going to take some Stampin' Write markers because I want more control with these. Again, because I'm trying to go for the look of this, and the center of the flower is yellow. So I'm just going to paint this part here. You could clean it off if you're worried about your marker, but when you're done, you can just scrub it on some scrap paper. And now you can see that kind of brightened that up. I'm going to add one more coat to get it just a little brighter. And then I'm going to take this and just in that center part, I'm going to color that in with the yellow. Now this is the fun part where we start kind of playing with what we've got. And again, you can see here, like it's really deep. It's almost black there, but I'm gonna go with Cheri Cobbler. And just here on these lines, I'm gonna hit those with Cheri Cobbler. Look how much definition that gives that. Then to kind of smear these around, I'm going to take, I didn't have it ready, that's okay. If you have a regular wing Castella, which I do, I just don't have it sitting here, use that. If you don't have one that has any stuff in it, just use your champagne mist. I just need a tiny, tiny bit. And I'm just going to pull that color from the middle. And I'm going to kind of let it go so it doesn't, I don't want it to color my flower, but I do want it to like pull some of the color around and kind of blend it a tiny bit, just ever so slightly. And I'm going to start from these dark areas so it pulls the If you have a wing Castella that has the ink in it, you'll have to be a little bit careful that it doesn't get too much up here in these places where you want to kind of leave the color. Okay, now I'm going to go and do the same thing to the leaf, which really blends those two colors together nicely. Before you might have thought, oh, she kind of has a blue-green leaf, which if you look at the paper, the leaves in the paper are blue-green. But they're blue-green filled in. They're not blue-green with a large proportion of shimmer white background. So there we go. But this is so much prettier than if you stamp it in white. I hope you can see the shimmer. It's really pretty. And you can kind of play with the colors. Again, I was trying to go for this. This one actually has blue on the edges, and this is more of a yellow one. So you can kind of play with the colors that are in the paper. So let's mount this one here. And take some glue dots. Not glue dots, dimensionals. This is why you don't want to put too much adhesive on there, because you want to be able to get it out. And I'm sticking it on this one that has the least amount of color. If you're going to reuse this again with some things, be careful to try not to move your pattern. So now we have those on. Then when they got their kit, they also got some pearls. Stick these in the middle of the... I kind of like it when I have a kit for myself before I stamp. Oops. Just stick these in the center. And then they had some, this is some tulle ribbon that I dyed, and it's actually dyed in terracotta tile. So you're gonna take a glue dot, because it looks like it's a long piece, where my glue dot's here right in front of me. So take a glue dot and put it on one end, and secure your two ends together. And then take another glue dot and put it again on the ends. And then take this piece here, so you have kind of like bunny ears. And then make a loop out of those. So now you have two loops, and kind of smush those together, which you have those two glue dots now, so you can do that. And get one more glue dot. And then take your scissors and kind of pull this up, which is why I only want to put one dimensional on here. And just kind of stick that down in there, and then those glue dots will stick to that, and you can kind of arrange it. If you want to arrange it perfectly, you can add one more glue dot on there. Then this is one of the embellishments from the Tropical Oasis trinkets. Just take a glue dot there. Got two. Stick this here. And then just a little snippet of the braided burlap trim that comes in this suite, and just pull it apart, kind of like this. Take another glue dot, and I'm going to stick this on the top of my ribbon, because then when you lift this up, it'll stick to the top of your flower. There you go. How pretty is that? All of your flowers will look a tad bit different because of the way the ink hits. This one I got a little bit more yellow on than I did on this one. Looks like I got a little bit more of the cherry cobbler. But such a fun technique. So I hope you enjoy that. I hope you fall in love with this Tropical Oasis suite. The paper in it is just beautiful. The memories and more cards, beautiful. And I do have a tutorial up that uses the memory and more cards, which was one of the first tutorials I posted when I got this stuff from this catalog. So that's what I have for you today. Have a great one, and remember that if you want me to send you a catalog, all you have to do is place an order on my website, and you can get that information depending on where you're at, on Facebook or on YouTube. There will be a link everywhere for it. And make sure you use the host code, and then you'll get my monthly thank you gift. Have a great day. Bye.